busy day?
Really busy day.
Yeah.
But every day's busy, but that's all good.
What's been so busy about today?
What have we been doing today? So we have been reviewing wholesale buys for spring/summer 24, going back over all the ranges the teams have put together, and the big focus has been about pushing newness, being braver, pushing newness harder, taking more risks, which really, really exciting. The interesting part of the job, and seeing lots of new products actually, and just taking more risks and being braver, and trying to encourage the teams to push the newness as much as possible.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, all good, all good.
Well, thanks for coming on the very first episode of the Life at Next podcast.
No, thank you for having me. I'm
No,
very
no.
excited
Oh,
to
no,
be
I'm
the first
excited.
one. Yeah.
I'm excited. No, I know when we were chatting before, I was kind of saying, it'd be really good to get you on the first one to kind of explain where Next is going and kind of what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I know we've chatted loads about it, but I guess your career and that we'll talk about now is a good reflection of that as well, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel that I've grown as the business has grown.
Yeah.
I've moved along with the growth areas within the business and had lots of opportunity to do all of that. So yeah, it'd be nice to talk about it, share it with everyone.
Where did you actually start then? Like, what was your first actual role at Next?
So my very first role at Next was working in the high street store in what was the old Shires. So the High Cross now in Leicester used to be called the Shires back in my old day.
I remember.
And so I worked there while I was at, actually I think I was doing A-levels. And then I got to be a weekend store manager. And that was my first role. And I saw an advert on the in the staff room wall saying trainee roles at head office, ring this number if anybody wants to apply. And I was thinking, I'd been to university, done a psychology degree, worked for 6 months at a young offenders institution and didn't love it. Went back to work in store and then applied for the trainee buying role, did an assessment, and then ended up at head office on men's accessories.
Wow. So you've been through that trainee journey then as well?
Yeah, so the previous trainee where, full day's assessment of, ranking bestsellers and lots of psychology assessments and things. But it was good fun at the time.
And now what are you doing? Now what's your because I've asked you this a couple of times. What's your official title?
My official title is label director. So my role now I look after all fashion brands on the Next website, and also manage clothing licensing, part of clothing licensing. Some of it's split on other departments, but clothing licensing as well.
And label is what we term as brands,
label is all, so from a city point of view, label is all the third party part of the Next website. So I manage all of that apart from Home Brands, which sits under Claire Solis and Anthony.
So quite from starting part-time in a store to label director, bit of a journey.
An amazing journey actually, but an exciting one. But no, I'm very, very happy with. I love the role I've got at the moment. It's absolutely fantastic.
Do you look back and go, God, what a journey! Like, what a difference from at all the different points through your career, and just think, God, it's so different now.
Yeah, it's probably one thing that we're all guilty of, isn't it? You don't take time to look back and think actually how amazing the journey was. But no, it is absolutely an amazing journey, and I think it just shows there's so many people at Next that have had a similar type of journey, been here for a long time. I think I'm like 23 years that have had a similar experience. It's a fantastic business from that point of view.
I mean, I'm 14 years, I still consider myself like not that long. Because there's people that are like 20 25, 30. I mean, heard the other day, I think there's someone who's just hit 45 years in store. Yeah,
amazing.
Which I'm like, Next is only 40 years old though. So how does that work?
Yeah,
so
you're building it.
So there's so many people here that have been on that journey with us. And I guess the brand's journey is probably the latest journey we're on, isn't it, really?
Yeah, so I've been on brands, I think I'm coming up to 8 years on brands. And even in that time, I think when I joined, we turned over 120 million and we'll be touching 800 million. It's the journey has been absolutely phenomenal and really, really excited. We've gone from 40 people in the team. I think we've got 180.
Wow.
So it's grown so much. It's been very, very exciting journey.
And how many brands do we actually work with or sell on the website now?
I think totally, if you put all brands together, are probably about 750. Within clothing, sports and fashion, maybe about 500.
Wow.
But interestingly, the brands that really make the difference are the top 100.
Right.
So we've got 100 brands that really generate the majority of the turnover. But it's a huge amount of brands to work with. And that's probably been one of the most exciting parts, I think, and differences between my role of working on the next brand to working over on brands, is you just get this opportunity to work with all these amazing brands and a bit of an insight into how they run their businesses, and what do they do differently to how Next works. So it's been really, really interesting from that point of view.
And are we learning a lot from them as well at the same time, or how is it classed as like a collaboration, do you think, or?
Yeah, I think it's different for different brands. There's obviously so many brands, and we work on two different models. We have a commission model where the brands just push the stock into our warehouse and we sell it.
Yeah.
And then we have a wholesale model where we go and buy the stock from the brands. I think where we've got really strong relationships and we've built good relationships with the brands, where we're now doing licensing, so brands like Ted Baker, we do their license on children's wear now, partly born out of the fact that we had a good relationship with them before they sold. So it is, yeah, I would say definitely some of the brands we've got really strong relationships and it's more of a collaborative approach. And then other brands, it's that they're running a bit more and they're pushing their stock into our business. So it's different for each brand.
And this is all part of the overall total platform or total enterprise platform offering as it is now, yeah.
Yeah, so total enterprise platform is, I know there's so many different acronyms for different things. Total enterprise platform is more where we've got acquisitions in the brand. So somebody like a Joules,
yeah,
where we own the majority, and then we're actually bringing Joules into the house of Next. Really, they use our systems, HR functions, finance functions, all of that side. Which we were only doing that for brands that we've got high acquisitions, but I'm sure there'll be lots more brands to come in the future.
And then the other brands are kind of just using part of our warehouse infrastructure or
yes,
site or
yeah, I'd probably they're almost like partner brands,
yeah,
where they're selling their product through our website and reaching our customer by selling their product, but we don't have acquisitions in those brands, and we're not doing their direct to consumer businesses. We're not running their websites. We're not doing that side of the business. That they're just a partner brand on our platform, selling to our 13 million customers. Just 13 million.
Just 13 million. Is that what it is now? 13.
Oh, this is one for cash, isn't it? He'll tell me off. I'll probably give the wrong stat. I think 13 million is the database. Active, I think, is probably around about 8 million. But it's phenomenal. It is. And I think the interesting thing about brands is so many of my, I wouldn't say friends because I do harp onto them all the time and get them to come and buy stuff from Next. But when you meet people at a party or something and they say, oh, what do you do? I work at Next. What role do you do? Oh, I run brands. They sell brands, really. And there's
so you're still getting that?
Yeah, all the time. So it's still, even though we turn over what we turn over, the opportunity is just still so big, which is really exciting. You look at somebody like Reiss. Before we launched Total Platform with Reiss, we turned over about £3 million just selling their product on our platform, but not being in stock of everything because we were trying to get the right quantities. Now all their stock is in our warehouse and our customers got access to all of their items. This year I think we'll do about turnover of 23 million. So just by having all the stock available to the Next customers, the sales have gone from 3 to 20 million. It is the power of growing and having more brands stocked in our own warehouse is going to be phenomenal in the future. Wow. It's very, very exciting.
Well, that was going to be my question. What is the benefit of Next doing this? Because I bet that's a question that as well, the follow-up question to, well, why do you buy brands, or why are brands signing up? And I guess that's why. Yeah,
it's the loyal customer base that we have, and those customers are loyal because we're a trusted brand. We've got great operations. We're very honest, and we've got that loyal customer base that is incremental to a lot of brands, and they can't access that customer unless they come via the Next website because they are doing majority of their shopping on our platform. And I think adding all the brands that we've added to the portfolio, those customers are probably even more loyal now than they used to be because they can buy so much from us. And that really, for a brand just trading on a website, that is the key. The key thing is that we've got incremental customers. But then equally, we're very financially sound. We pay on time. We're a good partner to have. All those things that you don't necessarily get from some of our competitors who have also got platforms. And I think from a total platform point of view, where we run brands' websites, we do all their warehousing. There's lots of operational costs that we can save for those brands. They can be more efficient, which will drive sales. And then having their stock available in our own warehouse to sell through the next platform is almost one, as a business, we hadn't actually appreciated the power of that until it really happened with Reiss. But that is something that we can now talk to other brands about, and it is a really great reason for them to come and do total platform with us.
Was Reiss one of the first ones then where the light bulb kind of went off to say, oh, this is a good thing here? Yeah.
From the increase in sales on the next platform, it definitely was the first one that we saw that level of growth. Yeah. Amazing.
It is amazing. And I guess with that then, there's just a wealth of opportunities now within your team and wider for people looking to come or thinking, oh, well, should I work at Next or not?
Yeah, from that point of view, there's so much opportunity. If you sit here now, we probably sat here 4 years ago and we weren't doing anything on total platform, total enterprise.
Nope.
And now we've got the clients that we've got. You fast forward another 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Hopefully we'll have another 10 clients, acquisitions in more businesses. And all of that is going to create huge amounts of opportunity across the whole business for lots and lots of people. Lots of reasons to join.
Yeah, loads. I mean, there's loads. The opportunities are endless, really, at the moment. And what do you think? Is there definitely some challenges that come with it as well,
I think definitely in the early days when we were learning, and we hadn't done it before. I think Child's Play was our very first total platform partner. Lots of learnings, and we have learned that the platform really is for bigger businesses who can benefit from all of the infrastructure that Next has got. We found with clients like Child's Play, where they were quite small, it was like driving a Ferrari on the school run. You had this powerful machine, but you didn't actually utilise it all. But you had to pay to use it. So it's definitely something that is for bigger businesses that have reached full capacity in their warehousing. They need to move to a new warehouse. Actually, the cost of doing that it is quite high. And so, from that point of view, it's about bigger businesses. And then I think one of the big advantages for other businesses is about if you take all the operational logistics away, they can focus on the brand building, focus on the product, the design part of the business, which is actually that's where their future growth is. And we do all the heavy lifting.
And is that one thing we're quite keen to keep separate? Like, it's very much, it's their brand still, their product, so it doesn't, because I guess what we don't want to do is just end up just merging into one brand.
100%. I think when you think of other businesses that have bought businesses in or sell businesses, I don't know, the Arcadia Group, the Debenhams Group, where they the downfall we could have if we allowed it to happen is that all of those businesses start to become a bit Nextified from a product point of view. So one of the key critical things for growth is that every business has to retain its own DNA, and we need to keep them really, really separate, and we need to be very, very careful that we don't get too involved. It's that isn't where we'll add value. The creative people in the businesses need to stay in those businesses, and they need to be in control of that side of it. We need to add the value by making them more efficient and bringing the right operations that are going to help them to catapult the sales growth. But definitely the brand DNA, even where we're doing licensing, where we have the licenses for different brands, and we've got a team in the barn managing that. One of the key things of that is we've got to invest in design and make sure that each brand has got a clear DNA. So that it's got an incremental point of view in the marketplace for our customers. That is a really, really important part.
Yeah, no, because otherwise, like you say, if it all becomes Nextified or it all feels like one brand, it's going to lose the value, isn't it, massively?
Yeah, and it will compete with our own brand, which isn't what we want to do. No. It's got to drive incremental growth.
And what are the advantages to the Next brand, I guess, of having all of these brands? Because I guess, in a weird way, they're kind of competitors, aren't they? But
yes, and look, definitely we've been on a journey, haven't we, as a whole business? And I'm sure in the early days that was something that we all considered. Yeah. Is it the right thing to do? But I suppose overall, the more it's all about the customer, isn't it? We've got to try and bring the right brands in front of the customer that our customer wants to buy. And they'll buy those brands anyway if they love them, and we'd rather sell those brands to our customer than them go and buy it from another third-party platform, so they can buy everything through us. And so I think it's got to always be driven by what does our customer want to buy, and let's partner with the right brands that are right for our customer, so we can give them great service and they can buy it all in one place, and it's super convenient. And as long as we think customer first, we'll make the right decisions.
And that's such a great point, actually. Customer first and that's something that's ingrained in our kind of expectations here as well. You know, for the customer is really, really big. So, yeah, I know that's everywhere. What are you excited most about, like your role or your team, or what's really exciting in the future, do you think?
I think from what gets me excited at the moment, we've reached a point on brands where we've got a strong turnover. We've grown at quite a fast pace over the past sort of 4, 5, 6 years, and we've got all of the key partners that we really want to have on the website for the customer. We've got most of those now, and we've reached a point where there aren't really any more brands that we want to bring on board that within our reach. The next layer of brands are more premium to luxury brands that don't really want to join the Next website because Next is amazing. We are a website that is huge amounts of choice. We're very transactional. We're quick. We've got a great operations, amazing service. But a lot of the brands we want are looking for a slightly more editorial website with more browsing time. They want to be more luxurious. So we are launching a new website next August, which is going to be called Seasons, which is going to be totally independent URL, totally backed by Next, effectively another total platform. Totally backed by Next, all the operational, our warehousing, everything. But it will be for luxury brands.
Oh, wow.
So we have blue sky vision that hopefully one day we'll get the likes of Gucci, Burberry, Balenciaga, Chloe, but we'll probably start at slightly more mid-level with a view to getting those. So I think that's an amazing project, which will be super exciting. So the team are working very hard on that in the background, talking to all the brands and trying to bring the brands on board. And we've had really, really good responses from the brands. They love the fact that Next are backing and trying to get in, opening something up in the luxury sector. So that's one thing that's really, really exciting. And I think second is, or another area is just growing the business that we've already got. And we're at a point at the moment where we need to be braver and take more risks as a business and just make sure that we're buying more of the newer, right product for our customers. And that's a big project that we're working on with the teams, to be braver and take more risks. And the data can't give you that information. We've got to use a bit more of our gut feel and trend information. So, yeah, and we've got a new, the Lipsy team has amalgamated with the label team, so we're at a point where we're a much bigger team, and we've got a bit of time to work together as a team and work out. There are some things that previous Lipsy team did that are really would be great for the label team to do, and vice versa. So that's really exciting that we're working collectively as a bigger team, and lots that we can build on going forwards to grow the whole business.
So not much then.
Not much, no.
not much to look forward to. No. I mean, that's loads. I mean, the fact that, we're saying like stuff like taking risks is, I guess some people, you're either excited by that or you're not, I guess. And I guess what we're trying to say is it is exciting, even though it is a risk.
Yeah, and I think if you think of the Next business and how we've grown, we haven't got to where we've got to without taking some risks. And as a business, I think for me, that is what makes this my role working for Next really, really exciting, is that we are a business that wants to take risks, and we encourage that. We've got to learn quickly. Sometimes they don't work, and we need to back out of it as quickly as we got into it. But as long as we don't make the same mistake twice, we're very, very entrepreneurial, and we encourage risk taking. So I love that part of the business. And I think from that point of view, we're very different to a lot of other corporate businesses that don't have the same mentality.
I agree. I totally agree with that. I think, we like to know why we're going for something, but then once everyone's kind of in agreement, it's like, right, let's go for this. Like, it's not a slow tentative thing. it will analyse and then, right, let's go for this. Like we should, in all aspects of Next as well, whether it's in, you know, retail, distribution,
absolutely,
anything. Yeah, it's always something that I've enjoyed, and the fact that you can kind of almost, you know, seize an opportunity and grow something from nothing, which is kind of where.
That's where Total Platform came from.
Yeah.
It was a conversation with Child's Play, and it was just okay. Well, let's have a go. And now we've got a whole business on the back of it. And I'm sure probably selling brands was pre my time on brands, but that was probably a conversation of let's just try a few brands, and now we've got a business that, you know, we turn over 800 million. And equally, there'll be examples of that all the way across the business, where, you know, we've got to where we've got to. And Simon says it a lot, doesn't he? We don't sit in boardrooms planning how we're going to get, or what we're going to do over the next 5 years. They are seeds of ideas that grow rather than big strategic plans.
Lots of little small ones that make the overall Next idea really good. No, I think it's really good. And what's on a personal level for you, what's driving you to keep doing this? Because I guess like 23 years, multiple roles, like where's that come from?
Oh, good question. I'm thinking now, what do I love my job. I absolutely love my job. I love working with a team and seeing things grow, I suppose. That is trying new things, having the autonomy to get on and have a go at things, and seeing things grow and seeing the team grow with it. For me, as long as we're constantly learning and we're constantly doing new things, and you can see that opportunity is there, that is what drives me every day, and makes me want. The minute I feel that actually we're on a hamster wheel, we're doing the same thing, I would get bored. But I can say genuinely, I've never felt like that at Next.
In not once in the 23 years, no.
No.
Wow.
No, I don't think I probably wouldn't be here if I had. But I don't. I think as long as you, the type of person that you can, find things to do, and you're constantly looking for opportunities, no one's going to tell you can't do them, unless they're bonkers. But yeah, and you obviously not every single one we always do, but I think it's just that the drive to do new things. And I have to say that the people at Next, all the people I've worked with, the team, the culture, it is fantastic. And I think that equally is a big reason why, a lot of people stay here for quite a long time.
I think that's grown a lot as well since in line with the brand as well, especially in my time here, from what it was to now. There's a lot more openness, there's a lot more ambition, there's a lot more drive from everyone. It's so good to see from all different areas, and it's good to see that there's a similar theme emerging in all the different areas of, and we have always pushed in the same direction, but it just feels stronger than ever. Yeah,
I think as well, probably Total Platform has, for it to be successful, we've had to work more collaboratively across departments, which maybe we haven't necessarily always had to do that. We've managed our own departments where we've had to work as a team, probably cross-functionally more than we've ever had to before, which I think allows you to understand different parts of the business and be more empathetic to what everyone else's roles and challenges are, actually, which I think is only a good thing. The more that we all understand every part of the business, it is really helpful.
Definitely, because there's no way without, Total Platform or certain roles you'd understand so much about distribution. I guess that's 100%. A big part that's come into your world that before being in product was, I know the merchandise
gets delivered to the warehouse and turns up someone's door. Yeah.
But I guess that's something now that you're like, oh no, we need this working so well as almost as a selling point to the brands as well. 100%.
And I think probably that's one of the key things working with the brands is that it's not just about selling the product. They need to get the product into the warehouse, we need to get it live on the website, or the data needs to be there. They need to get paid, otherwise they're on the phone because they haven't been paid on time. Sometimes they need to get stock back to them. So it is a whole 360. It touches every part of the business. And you're right. It gives you an insight into all parts of the business, and it all needs to be working perfectly. so that we can grow. It's not down to one team or one department. It is a collective partnership that everyone's got to have an input into.
And that's really important, isn't it, here at Next, like team, and like you said, touched on with people, team and people is, like, you ask anyone, people, but I know it's like it's like the worst cliche. It's like a football cliche.
But it is though. You can't win one person can't win the game.
No.
And it does sound a bit cliche, but it's so true.
It's so true here, yeah, it really is. There's a lot of unique people that have got a lot of passion and a lot of skill and a lot of desire to just do a really, really good job. And that's right from whether someone's just come in the business or been here 14, 23 years. Yeah,
absolutely. You need both. You need the experience, the understanding, but you need the fresh ideas and the new ways of thinking. And I think that's the other thing that I encourage on within the brands team and wider team. But it's just we're very, very good at business of not just doing the same thing just because that's what we do. We want to change, and we have to change. Otherwise, we won't keep evolving. We won't keep driving forward. So I think any new people coming into the business they have the best. I always say to any new starters, you're in the best position because you're not tainted by all the things that we do or we have done. You've got fresh eyes, so you've got to bring all the ideas forward and put forward any new suggestions. It's quite a nice position to be in.
Yeah, it is actually. Not to think, there's that part we've got to look after, and that part. It's like, right, just seize that opportunity.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and there's been so much change as well. Like if you think throughout all of Next, whether it was the directory and then the site and now total platform, there's all these milestones that someone looking from the outside is like, oh right, they are actually evolving constantly. And we do. And like you said earlier, I don't even know where we'll be in 5 years.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine. And in a way, I think it's quite good that we don't know where we'll be, because that there is no grand plan. No. We will just keep naturally, organically evolving. But yeah, I think when you think of retail, online, your huge directory, then this, online first mentality of just thinking about, we're a digital business that then happens to have stores. I think the fact that, the stores drive the online business, the online business needs the stores. It's a business that both sides of the business work really, really closely together and need each other to be successful. Who knows where we'll be, Matt, in 5 years' time?
I know, tell me about it. We could be doing another episode like this and you'll have another job title and then something else will be growing and evolving. Yeah, no, it is really, really exciting, and it's something that excites me a lot as well about Next in terms of the opportunities, not just from the core product teams, but then how that grows out across the whole of the brand, whether it's, the operational teams or HR function or someone in finance. There's all these different things emerging because of what we're doing well as a business. And, just by the end of this year, it will just change again.
Yeah, and it, like you say, it touches every single part of the business, and I think every business every part of the business is evolving really, really quickly. I think the other side of, you asked me earlier on about what's the advantage to Next of us selling brands. I think we've probably learned a lot as a business in terms of the Next own brand of what our customer also wants to buy that maybe wasn't previously in the Next part of the business.
They're buying that.
Yeah, whether it's more, I don't know, I'll say fashion dresses or women's wear, maybe a bad example. But it gives us actually we sell, we've got a really strong dress business on brands. That there's learnings that we can then feed into, hopefully we feed into the Next own business just to help give ideas to that business of what other things that customers want. So you can learn on both sides.
It's like calculating trends for us and customer behaviour through the
it gives a bit of an insight
to bring over to Next as well. Yeah.
So there's lots of advantages.
Yeah. It's been great chatting to you, Jade, and thanks for taking the plunge and being the first person to come on.
No, it's great to do it.
No, it's really exciting. And what would you say is like been your one memory? What's your favourite memory of Next? Like over these times, over these years.
Oh, good question. Memory of a memory that I've got that stuck in my mind. It's probably more of a personal one for me, of somebody. So Christos Angelides, ex-product director, now CEO of Reese. I remember, and I think this does sum up next, actually. I remember Jo Jenkins, who was my director at the time, I was buying manager, handed her a notice. She was going to M&S and, the dark side. And so I was like, okay, right, this is my chance. I really, really would love, I think I can do that role. I'd really, really like to do it. So I sort of went over to Christos, popped my head in, and I'd really like to apply for the position. He's like, okay, Jade, that's really interesting. So tell me, if you were given that role, what would you do? And I was like, okay, right, well, I would do this and this and this and this, a whole list of things. He was like, great, that sounds really, really exciting. So why aren't you doing it now?
That was his response.
That was his response. And I was like, okay, that is a really, really good response. And the point of the story is nobody's stopping you from any ideas you've got, all those things you think, actually, what if we did this? What if we did that? Nobody's stopping you, apart from yourself, from making those things happen. And I think that's probably a memory I've got that has had an impact on me and my career and my behaviour. And that is whenever I have breakfast with trainees, it's one that I always recount because I think it's quite a valuable piece of advice. But I do think it sums next up as well, that nobody is stopping you from doing anything. If you've got great ideas, we would lap it up as a business.
Such a great response.
So it's, that was quite, good old Christos.
Well, no, again, thanks for coming on, and it's been great talking.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Really enjoyed it.